My beloved, before your eyes ever reached these words, before your heart even knew it was searching, you were already being guided here. This moment is not an accident. It is not a coincidence. It is not something you simply stumbled into. It is an arrival, a quiet, sacred meeting arranged by hands you cannot see but have always felt. And yes, precious soul, this message is for you. Not for many, for you. There are moments when heaven does not shout, but leans close and whispers. This is one of those moments. Something has been gently watching over your life, your home, your inner world, and it has seen how much you carry in silence. It has seen the way you keep going even when you are tired. It has seen the questions you do not speak out loud. And now, in perfect timing, you are being asked to pause, to listen, to receive. You are not chosen because you are perfect. You were chosen because your heart is open enough to hear, because your spirit is strong enough to respond, because right now, at this exact point in your journey, a door is standing before you, and what you do next matters more than you realize. Stay with this message, my dear one. Do not rush past it. Let it unfold inside you. Something important is being placed into your hands. You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet unease that comes and goes like a gentle wave touching the shore of your heart and then pulling back again. Some days it is only a whisper, so soft you almost dismiss it. Other days it sits beside you, wordless, asking to be noticed. It does not come to frighten you. It comes to remind you that your inner world is alive, listening, and aware of more than your eyes can see. There have been moments when everything around you looked normal, yet something inside you felt slightly out of place. You went about your routine, spoke your usual words, smiled when it was expected, and still there was that subtle feeling that something was shifting, not breaking, not falling apart, but changing its position, like furniture being quietly moved in a dark room. You could sense it without being able to explain it. You may have noticed small interruptions in your plans. A delay that made no sense. A conversation that was cancelled. A sudden thought that stopped you from taking a step you were about to take. These are not accidents. They are gentle pauses placed in your path, like soft hands resting on your shoulders, guiding you to slow down and look again. Sometimes the signs come through your body. A heaviness in your chest that appears without a clear reason. A tiredness that sleep does not fully cure. A tightness in your stomach when you think about a certain place or a certain decision. Your body listens even when your mind tries to stay busy. It carries messages your deeper self is trying to send you. You may have tried to explain these feelings away. You told yourself you were just overthinking. You told yourself it was stress or imagination or nothing important, and perhaps part of you truly wanted that to be true. But the feelings returned again and again, not louder, not harsher, just steady and patient, waiting for you to take them seriously. There are also signs that arrive through the world around you, words you hear at just the right moment. A line in a book that feels like it was written only for you. A song that suddenly carries a message you cannot ignore. Even silence can become a sign when it appears at exactly the moment you needed space to feel. None of this means something is wrong with you. It means something is waking up inside you. It means your awareness is becoming more sensitive, more honest, more willing to notice what used to stay hidden. When a room is quiet, you begin to hear the smallest sound. When your soul becomes quieter, you begin to hear its guidance. These questions are not there to disturb you. They are there to prepare you. They are like gentle knocks on a door inside you, asking if you are ready to open it and see what is waiting on the other side. You do not have to answer all of them at once. You only have to admit that they are there. There is also a feeling of restlessness that sometimes visits you. Even when your life seems stable, it is not the kind that makes you want to run away. It is the kind that makes you want to understand. It is the quiet sense that there is more to align, more to soften, more to bring into harmony. Pay attention to how often your thoughts return to the same themes, the same worries, the same hopes, the same unresolved matters. Your inner world is drawing circles around what needs your care, not to pressure you but to guide you. You are not being pushed. You are being invited. There is a difference. A push comes with force and fear. An invitation comes with patience and respect. What you are feeling now is an invitation to become more present, more honest, more gentle with yourself. All these signs taken alone may seem small, but together they form a quiet pattern, like stars that only become a constellation when you step back and look at them as a whole. Something is shifting, my dear one, not in a way that is meant to scare you, but in a way that is meant to prepare you. Like the light changing before dawn, like the air changing before rain. You do not need to know everything that is coming. You only need to know that your inner guidance is awake. So do not rush past these feelings. Do not silence them. Sit with them for a moment. Let them speak. Let them show you what they are pointing toward. Your soul has been patient with you. Now it is simply asking you to listen now. While you have been living your days, while you have been doing your best to hold everything together, to keep moving, to keep believing, there has been a quiet movement unfolding beyond what your eyes can measure. It has not been loud, it has not rushed, it has been precise, patient, and deeply intentional. Destiny does not hurry, yet it never arrives late. And even in moments when you felt nothing was changing, something was always being gently arranged. Think about how many times you planned one thing, and something else happened instead. How many times a door did not open when you were sure it should. How many times you felt delayed, redirected, or strangely protected from a situation you once thought you wanted. At the time, it may have felt like inconvenience, or disappointment, or confusion. But from a higher view, those were not interruptions. They were adjustments. They were small turns of the wheel guiding you away from what would have drained you and toward what will strengthen you. There have been prayers you whispered and then almost forgot. Hopes you carried quietly because you were afraid to expect too much. Desires you buried under responsibility and routine. None of them were ignored. Some were answered with weight, not as a denial, but as a form of care. Some were answered with "not this way," because the way you imagined would have cost you more than you could see. And some were answered by slowly changing you, so that when the right moment arrived, you would be able to receive what you once could not hold. You may not realize how many unseen protections have already surrounded you, how many wrong turns you did not take, how many situations dissolved before they could wound you. Sometimes protection looks like delay. Sometimes it looks like disappointment. Sometimes it looks like a closed door that saves you from walking into a room that was never meant to become your home. There is a rhythm to your life that is deeper than schedules and plans. A rhythm that knows when something must be learned before something else can begin. A rhythm that knows when you need rest before expansion, when you need clarity before commitment, when you need release before renewal. You are not behind this rhythm. You are inside it. Even the difficult seasons have had a hidden purpose. They have been shaping your discernment, strengthening your inner voice, teaching you where your limits are and where your courage lies. They have been preparing you to recognize what is true for you and what is not, what nourishes you and what only looks familiar. Right now, many small threads are being drawn together. Conversations you will have, realizations that will quietly settle into your heart, opportunities that will appear not as miracles but as simple next steps. The future rarely announces itself with thunder. More often it arrives like a gentle knock, waiting to see if you are willing to open. You may feel as if you have been standing still, but even stillness has been working for you. Seeds grow in silence before they break the surface. Roots deepen where no one is watching. The most important changes often happen in places no one applauds and no one sees. There is also a reason you are more aware now than you were before, a reason you are noticing your inner world more clearly. a reason certain things no longer satisfy you the way they once did. This is not restlessness without meaning. This is readiness taking shape. Your path is not being forced. It is being invited into existence through small, respectful openings. Through moments where you are asked to choose honesty over comfort, presence over distraction, trust over old fear. Every such choice, even when it feels ordinary, quietly shifts the direction of your story. You do not have to understand the whole design. You only have to recognize that there is one, that your life is not a collection of random events, but a living, breathing journey that responds to your growth, your awareness, your willingness to listen. Some of what is coming will feel like relief. Some will feel like clarity. Some will feel like a gentle challenge to become more of who you already are. None of it is meant to harm you. All of it is meant to align you more closely with a life that feels true, spacious, and whole. So when you look back one day, you will see that this period was not empty. It was a bridge. It was a preparation. It was the quiet moment before the next movement of your life began. And you will realize that even when you thought you were waiting, destiny was already walking toward you step by patient step. There is a quiet moment in every life when the path begins to split, not with signs or noise but with a feeling. You are in such a moment now. It does not look dramatic from the outside. Your days may seem the same. Your routines may still be in place. And yet, inside you, something knows that a door is opening and that remaining exactly where you are will soon feel heavier than taking a step forward. You may sense this as a gentle pressure, a repeated thought, or a question that returns even when you try to set it aside. It is the feeling of standing at the edge of a decision that matters, even if you cannot yet explain why it matters. This is not about one single action. It is about the direction your heart is choosing to lean. One direction feels safe because it is familiar. It is built from habits, from patterns you already know how to survive, from roles you have learned to play well. It asks very little of you. It allows you to continue without changing much. It promises comfort, or at least predictability. The other direction feels uncertain because it asks you to trust something you cannot fully see yet. It asks you to be honest about what no longer fits. It asks you to believe that your life can be lighter, clearer, and more aligned than it has been. This is not a choice between good and bad. It is a choice between staying the same and becoming more. Between carrying what is familiar and making space for what is true. Between waiting for circumstances to change and allowing yourself to change first. You have already stayed strong for a long time. You have already carried much more than most people realize. You have learned how to endure, how to adapt, how to keep going even when you were unsure. But endurance is not the same as alignment. And survival, as brave as it is not the same as living in a way that truly nourishes you. There is a part of you that knows this. It is the part that feels tired in a very specific way, not from effort, but from carrying what no longer belongs to you. It is the part that wonders how much lighter things might feel if you allowed yourself to choose differently. Delaying this choice does not make it disappear. It only makes the inner tension quieter on the surface and louder underneath. The longer you wait, the more energy it takes to hold everything exactly as it is. This is not because you are weak. It is because you are growing, and growth naturally outgrows old containers. You may be afraid of making the wrong move. You may be afraid of disappointing others, or even of disappointing the version of yourself you used to be. You may be afraid of stepping into something you cannot control. These fears are understandable. They come from a place that once needed certainty to feel safe. But they do not get to decide your future. You are not being asked to leap into the unknown. You are being asked to take one honest step. To acknowledge what your heart already knows. To stop pretending that what drains you is still enough. To stop postponing the life that quietly waits for your permission to begin. The choice in front of you is not about perfection. It is about sincerity. It is about choosing what brings you closer to yourself instead of further away. It is about trusting that clarity often comes after movement, not before it. Every meaningful change begins this way, in a quiet, almost invisible decision to no longer abandon yourself, to no longer stay only because leaving feels uncomfortable, to no longer measure your life only by what you can tolerate. You are allowed to want more alignment. You are allowed to want more peace. You are allowed to want a life that feels like it fits from the inside out. Wanting these things does not make you ungrateful. It makes you honest. This moment is gentle, but it is important. It is not here to rush you. It is here to invite you, to remind you that you are not trapped, that you are not as limited as you sometimes believe, that you are standing in front of a door that opens from the inside. Whatever you choose, choose it with awareness, choose it with kindness toward yourself. But know this, my dear one, choosing to move with your deeper truth will always, in the long run, be kinder than choosing to stay only because you are afraid. There comes a time in every life when holding on requires more effort than letting go. This time does not announce itself loudly. It arrives quietly, through a growing sense of heaviness, through a subtle feeling that something you are carrying no longer fits the shape of who you are becoming. You may not be able to name exactly what it is at first, but you can feel it in the way your energy changes, in the way certain situations leave you more tired than they used to. Some things once protected you. Some roles once helped you survive. Some habits once gave you a sense of control or comfort. There is no shame in that. There is only honesty in recognizing when their season has ended. What kept you safe in one chapter can become what keeps you small in the next, not because it is wrong, but because you have outgrown it. Releasing does not mean rejecting your past. It means honoring it without allowing it to define your future. It means thanking what was useful, what was necessary, what was once right for you, and then gently placing it down when you no longer need to carry it. You might notice that certain ways of thinking keep returning, even when they no longer serve you. Old stories about who you are, what you can do, what you deserve. These stories were often formed in moments when you were trying to make sense of the world, when you were trying to protect your heart, when you were trying to stay safe. But you are not in those moments anymore. You are standing in a wider space now, even if you have not fully stepped into it yet. There may also be relationships, patterns, or commitments that quietly drain you. Not because anyone is bad, not because something is broken. Simply because the connection belongs to an older version of you. Staying connected to what no longer reflects who you are becoming slowly teaches your heart to stay smaller than it needs to be. Letting go can feel like loss, even when it is healthy. The mind often associates release with emptiness. But in truth, release is how space is created, and space is not absence. Space is invitation. Imagine trying to fill a cup that is already full. No matter how pure the water, it will overflow and be wasted. Your life is the same. You cannot receive what is meant for you if your hands are already full of what belongs to yesterday. You are not being asked to tear anything away. You are being invited to loosen your grip, to soften your attachment to what you no longer need to hold so tightly. To trust that you will not disappear if you stop carrying what has become heavy. There is also a part of you that may fear who you will be without these old layers. If you are not the one who always sacrifices, always endures, always stays quiet, then who are you? If you are not defined by your past struggles, then what remains? These questions can feel unsettling, but they are actually doorways. They lead to discovery, not to emptiness. What remains is you without unnecessary weight. You with more room to breathe. You with more energy for what truly matters. You are not losing yourself, you are uncovering yourself. Release is not a single moment. It is a series of gentle choices. Each time you choose not to repeat an old pattern. Each time you speak more honestly. Each time you rest instead of forcing yourself to continue. Each time you allow something to end without trying to rescue it back into your life. You may need to grieve what you are releasing. Even healthy endings deserve tenderness. Even outdated dreams once meant something to you. Even old identities once kept you going. Let yourself honor that. Let yourself feel it. And then let yourself move forward without dragging it behind you. Making space is an act of trust. It is saying, without words, that you believe something good can arrive. That you believe your life is not finished, offering you new forms of beauty, new forms of meaning, new forms of peace. This space you create will not stay empty. It will be filled with clarity, with lighter mornings, with relationships that meet you where you are now, not where you used to be, with choices that feel more natural, more aligned, more honest. You do not have to know exactly what will come next. You only have to know that what is leaving is making room for it. And that is not loss. That is preparation. So be gentle with yourself as you release. You are not dismantling your life. You are refining it. You are not walking away from who you were. You are walking toward who you are becoming, and that, my dear one, is a deeply loving act. My beloved, even in moments when you have felt uncertain, even in times when you believed you were walking alone, you have never truly been without guidance. There has always been a quiet presence moving with you, not to control your steps, but to gently illuminate the ground beneath them. You may not have seen it, but you have felt it in the moments when something told you to pause, or to turn, or to wait just a little longer. Protection does not always look like being kept from all difficulty. Often it looks like being guided through difficulty in a way that leaves your heart stronger and your spirit clearer. Think of how many times something did not work out, only for you to later realize that what you wanted would have cost you more than you were ready to give. Think of how many times a disappointment quietly became a form of rescue. You are watched over in ways that are subtle and respectful. You are not pushed or forced. You are invited, reminded, and quietly steered. Your intuition is one of the ways this guidance speaks to you. It does not shout. It does not argue. It simply returns again and again, like a gentle light in the corner of your awareness, waiting for you to notice it. Sometimes guidance comes as a feeling that something is not right, even when you cannot explain why. Sometimes it comes as a sudden calm about a decision you were afraid to make. Sometimes it comes as a thought that feels wiser and kinder than your usual inner voice. These are not accidents. These are the language of care. You do not have to be perfect to be guided. You do not have to always make the right choice. Even when you take a path that turns out to be difficult, you are not abandoned there. The path itself becomes part of your learning, part of your strengthening, part of how your discernment grows. Guidance does not disappear when you make mistakes. It simply adapts, finding new ways to lead you back toward what is true for you. There have been times when you were protected without knowing it. Times when something was delayed, canceled, or changed at the last moment. Times when you felt frustrated because things were not moving as fast as you wanted. And yet, those pauses were not empty. They were holding you back from something that would have hurt you or exhausted you or taken you further away from yourself. You may not realize how often you have already been carried through moments that could have broken you. How often strength arrived exactly when you needed it, even if you did not feel strong. How often clarity arrived after confusion, not because confusion was a failure, but because it was a passage. Guidance also comes through the people who cross your path. Some stay for a long time. Some appear only briefly. Each one reflects something to you, teaches you something, or helps you see yourself more clearly. Even the difficult connections have had a purpose, showing you your boundaries, your values, your needs. And then there are the quiet signs. A sentence you hear at just the right moment. a sudden memory that changes how you see something, a moment of stillness that brings an unexpected answer. These are not coincidences. They are gentle reminders that you are not navigating this life alone. You are allowed to trust this support. You are allowed to lean into it. Trust does not mean you will never feel afraid. It means you will choose to listen to what is deeper than fear. It means you will remember that you are not required to carry everything by yourself. There is a wisdom within you that is older and calmer than your worries. When you slow down enough to hear it, it does not rush you. It does not criticize you. It speaks in a tone of patience and clarity. It is not interested in proving anything. It is interested in guiding you toward what feels whole. You may sometimes wonder if you are truly being guided or if you are just imagining it. The answer is not found in certainty, but in resonance. Notice what brings you a sense of quiet rightness. Notice what brings you a gentle relief, even if it also brings change. That feeling is a form of truth. You are protected not from growth but through growth. You are guided not away from your life, but deeper into it. Every step you take with sincerity is met by support you may not see, but can feel in the way things slowly, steadily begin to align. So when you feel unsure, pause and listen. When you feel afraid, breathe and soften. When you feel lost, remember that being lost is often the first step to being found in a new way. You are held. You are accompanied. You are not walking in darkness without light. Even now, even here, guidance is moving with you, patient and kind, leading you forward one gentle step at a time. My dear one, there is more strength in you than you have been taught to notice. Not the loud, kind, not the kind that needs to prove itself, but the steady, enduring strength that keeps choosing to rise, even after disappointment, even after confusion, even after days when simply continuing felt like a victory. You have carried yourself through more than you sometimes remember. And that alone tells a story about who you truly are. You may have learned to see yourself through the eyes of what you have survived, rather than through the truth of what you are becoming. You may have learned to define yourself by your responsibilities, your mistakes, your unfinished plans, or your quiet doubts. But none of these are your identity. They are experiences. They are chapters. They are not the author of your life. There is a deeper name written inside you, one that does not change with circumstances. It is the part of you that still hopes, even when you are tired. It is the part of you that still cares, even when caring feels heavy. It is the part of you that still feels drawn towards something more honest, more peaceful, more whole. You did not come this far by accident. Every challenge you have faced has shaped your discernment. Every season of waiting has taught you patience. Every time you had to begin again has quietly built resilience in your spirit. You are not behind, you are layered. You are not broken. You are becoming. There is a moment in every inner journey when a person realizes they no longer have to live as a smaller version of themselves. This does not happen all at once. It happens through many small recognitions. You notice that you no longer want to apologize for existing. You notice that you no longer want to keep explaining your worth. You notice that you no longer want to abandon yourself just to keep the peace. This is not pride. This is alignment. This is the quiet awakening of self-respect, self-trust, and self-honoring. It is the understanding that your life is not meant to be a constant act of endurance. It is meant to be a living relationship with your own truth. You are allowed to take up space in your own life. You are allowed to have preferences, boundaries, and dreams that matter to you. You are allowed to change your mind when you grow. You are allowed to outgrow what once fit. There may still be a voice inside you that doubts, that questions, that worries you are not enough. That voice learned to exist in a time when being careful felt necessary. Thank it for trying to protect you. But do not let it decide who you are now. There is another voice in you, quieter but wiser. It speaks in courage instead of fear. It speaks in honesty instead of habit. It speaks in calm determination instead of constant worry. This is the voice of your emerging self, the one who is no longer content to live only in preparation, only in waiting, only in holding back. You are not here to merely cope with your life. You are here to inhabit it, to participate in it, to shape it with the choices you make and the care you give yourself. Your purpose is not something you have to chase. It is something that reveals itself as you become more honest, more present, more aligned. When you stop trying to be what you think you should be, and start listening to what you truly are, your path becomes clearer. You have a unique way of seeing, a unique way of feeling, a unique way of understanding the world. This is not an accident. The world does not need another copy. It needs the version of you that exists only once. Do not underestimate the quiet power of becoming more yourself. Every time you choose what is true over what is expected, you strengthen your inner foundation. Every time you choose rest over exhaustion, honesty over performance, presence over distraction, you are building a life that can actually hold you. You are not too late. You are not too much. You are not lacking something essential. You are in the middle of remembering who you are. And as you remember, your confidence will not come from comparison. It will come from coherence, from the feeling that your outer life is beginning to match your inner truth. Stand gently, but stand firmly, in this awareness. You are not here to disappear into the background of your own story. You are here to live it, to shape it, to walk forward with a heart that knows it is worthy of the journey. This is your awakening, not into someone new, but into who you have always been beneath the weight of expectation and fear. And that, my beloved, is a powerful beginning. My beloved, as you stand here in this quiet inner space, let your breath slow and your heart soften. You have listened, you have opened, you have allowed something gentle and true to touch you. That alone is an act of courage. Not the loud kind, not the kind that announces itself, but the kind that changes a life from the inside out. You do not need to rush away from this moment. Let it settle. Let it find its place within you. Some messages are not meant to be understood all at once. They are meant to be carried like a small light and discovered again and again as you walk forward. You are not being asked to become perfect. You are being invited to become sincere, to move with honesty, to choose with care, to treat your own life as something precious and worthy of attention. From this moment on, let your steps be gentler, but also more intentional. Let your choices be kinder, but also truer. You do not have to change everything at once. You only have to keep choosing what brings you closer to peace rather than further away from yourself. There will still be days when you feel unsure. Days when old habits call you back. Days when fear tries to speak louder than trust. When that happens, do not judge yourself. Simply remember what you felt here. Remember that you are guided. Remember that you are allowed to begin again as many times as you need. You are not walking towards something distant and unreachable. You are walking into a deeper relationship with your own life. Every honest step, no matter how small, is already part of the arrival. May your home become a place of rest, not just for your body but for your spirit. May your thoughts become kinder places to live. May your heart learn that it does not have to carry everything alone. When you wake in the morning, may you remember that you are not starting from nothing. You are continuing something sacred. When you lie down at night, may you release what you could not fix and trust that rest itself is a form of healing. You are allowed to hope without apology. You are allowed to trust without needing guarantees. You are allowed to build a life that feels like it belongs to you. Let courage be quiet and steady in you. Let patience become your companion. Let clarity arrive in its own time, without force. And when you are unsure which way to turn, choose the direction that brings a sense of inner openness rather than contraction. Choose the path that allows you to breathe more fully. Your body and your heart often know before your mind can explain. You do not have to prove your worth. You only have to live as if you believe in it. May you be protected not from change but within it. May you be guided not away from your challenges but through them with wisdom and grace. May you be surrounded by the right support, seen and unseen, that meets you at the right moments. There is a quiet promise written into your life, that every sincere step you take toward truth is met by a gentle response that helps carry you forward. You may not always see how things are working together, but you will feel it in the way your life slowly becomes less heavy, in the way your choices become more natural, in the way your heart begins to trust itself again. So make a simple commitment now, not out loud, but within. A commitment to listen. A commitment to be honest. A commitment to be kind to yourself as you grow. You do not need to be fearless, you only need to be willing. Hold this in your heart, you are not late, you are not forgotten, and you are not alone. The path in front of you will continue to reveal itself one step at a time, and each step will be enough. May peace walk with you, may clarity guide you, may courage rise gently in you when it is needed, and may you remember even on the days when you forget, that you are deeply, intentionally, and lovingly accompanied as you move forward into the life that is waiting to meet you.